Remember this, if you want to go quickly, do it alone. But if you want to go far, you do it together. We're like roaches, and you can't kill us.
Yeah, I think when you were talking about those camps, it's kind of like that O-line mentality, like no reps off, like every play I'm going to give it my all. Like even if you're just at a camp, like you're going to do your best, like with every drill you have.
No doubt. I mean, it's funny. Like nowadays, I mean, when I first started coaching, I hated everybody else. I was like, no, I'm better coaching that guy. I'm better coaching that guy. And then as I got older, I'm like, well, how do these guys know that I'm a better coach? So like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the first one to go grab the cones if someone needs it. You know, and some people are like, oh, that guy's a brown noser. But no one's going to do, as offensive lineman, we do the dirty work. If no one's going to go grab the cones for that coach or go grab the balls for that coach, I'm going to go do it because I'm going to show him that I care and this is what I want to do. So, I mean, as a player, I was very physical. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, I didn't take weight seriously until my junior or senior year because my quarterback at Worcester State was a nut bar, and he's awesome. He's actually the quarterback's quality control now at Florida State. But he's one of the best leaders ever, and he made me transform my body my last years of college, and it made my game 100% better. But everything I learned as an offensive lineman has translated into coaching. Communication. Just being a team player, being selfless, doing the little things when no one else wants to. So I think that 100% that grinding at camps and being an offensive lineman go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't agree more. And then like being at all those camps, like in different places like Texas with U.S. national football and all the way up in Oregon, like what are some of your favorite drills you've learned to do with the guys up front?
So the first thing I learned, I'm going to tell you the first drill that I hate, I hope it goes away some point soon, is just one-on-one pass rush with no pads. I think is the stupidest thing in the world.
Terrible.
No, and like USA Football is the best organization I've ever worked for. When it comes to kids, like it's not a money grab like a lot of other things. Like they're awesome people, and we have to do one-on-one pass rush because we're evaluating kids for all-star games, and I get it. You know what I mean? So I get it, but at the same time, it's like all we're really looking for when I'm an offensive line coach, I just want to see the kid can take a set. I don't care if he gets beat. I want to see if he can take a set and get on an ankle, But some of the best drills that it's not so much drills, it's just coaching points over the years, different coaching points on drive block progression, different ways listening to guys talk about half slide, pro, you know what I mean? It's that thing. We all do the same drills, and we all have our own little wrinkles to them. I think that's what makes us, different coaches, and some coaches maybe are better teachers than others. But I would say not so much drills, but yeah, just some of the different coaching points throughout the year. Like on outside zone, I'm an Alex Gibbs wide zone guy, and I was working at camp one time, and I always said like, hey, you want to make your backside arm's got to be a V, your backside arm's got to be a V. And then one day I heard a guy say, hey, yeah, you want to turn that thumb out, and I look down and I do it. I'm like, oh,
wow,
well, my arm's a V, and all I have to say is turn your thumb out, or thumb out. And I was like, oh, all right. So just things like that over the years is what I think is the best part about just talking to all the other line coaches, doing clinics online, and working the camps is just finding out different language, different little coaching cues over the years.
Yeah, and I mean, going off what you were saying earlier with kind of how your mindset shifted from I'm the best, I'm better than these guys, and then you kind of take the learner's mindset. It's interesting to see. I did a few years in college as an education major, and all the professors, they always say, they're like, oh, the best teachers are the best learners, the best teachers are the best learners. And it's true. I think if you could go anywhere in life and put your ego aside for a second and be like, oh, holy crap, if I put my thumb up this way, it's a lot. This kid's going to get it real quick. So I think it's crazy how once you put some things aside, and as guys up front who kind of never really get the spotlight, it's easy almost to put your ego aside because you never really had one in the first place. So it's always
no. No, I'm with you 100%. So I'm very close with Coach McCleary, and we
Yeah.
were talking. We always talk, and I was like, dude, I was like, I wouldn't want to be coached by my first year Bobby Johnson as an offensive line coach. Now, I mean, what I know now, but I didn't know what I didn't know back then. All I knew back then was a couple different drills, and I had a really good relationship with my guys. That's one thing I think I've always pride with, was getting to know my players on a personal level. But I mean, I was like, damn, man, I wish I had myself as a coach now, just all the stuff I know and communicating with. I think that's a huge thing. I promise myself, it's like, I will never be happy with, all right, I'm a good O-line coach, great. But no, I always want to get better. I'm always looking for film. I'm always looking for different drills. Like you guys said, that's half the fun when you go out to these camps, these clinics, these events, is just trying to always get better. I think it's a huge part of being a successful coach.
Yeah. And just one more thing, bounce off what you're saying, and I'll give him a subtle plug here real quick. But Coach McCleary, I think as far as connecting with his players, for a guy who's only a few years separated from us at the college level, I don't think I'll ever forget him coming through the warm-up lines and shaking every single guy's hand. And it's like, yeah, you could do all the coaching cues you want, and you could have these tips and things like that. But if a guy connects with you, you want to listen to him.
100%.
And I mean, just the fact that you know him and you're close with him, it's immediate, like, we have that connection just from a simple action that a coach did just a few years older than us. It could be our older brother. It could be a cousin. But it's a guy who we respect and listen to. So I think that's really important.
No doubt. And that was the first thing I said to him, man. Like when I got hired at RPI, I know he wanted to be the O-line coach. And I know that. And I know at first he was probably like, who's this dude? You know what I mean? But I think I did a good job in the interview. I think I earned some respect for him. And then we just hit it off. Because, the year before, I don't think he had a lot of mentorship, being a tight ends coach or running backs and tight ends, whatever his title was. But I mean, when I got hired, I was like, dude, you are my right hand man. I was like, whatever you want to know, we're gonna work this together. He would run certain drills sometimes. Like, I wish I never had that as a young coach. So that's my biggest thing too. I always want to be able to mentor somebody and help somebody out. I try to help out a couple of guys in Central Mass that are young college coaches as much as I can, just because it's where I'm from. But that was one thing with Sean. I'll never question his work ethic. I'll never question his want to get better, because he was just a guy that he bought in right away with me. And I think he kind of checked, like I said, I think he checked his ego a little bit, and it was awesome. And we just clicked from that. Like, he's like my little brother. I would do anything for the kid in a second.
And that's awesome to hear, because that probably led to a lot of that success you guys had at RPI with that deep playoff run and a strong running attack for the years you've been there.
No doubt. I mean, I was lucky. I inherited 3 friggin' dogs that were seniors, and then we had a couple of really good young kids that came in as freshmen. But no, to have, I think it was awesome, because I mean, we were getting double time, the reps, especially for Division III. I mean, sometimes practice could go an hour and a half, or it could go an hour, because all of a sudden there's a lightning strike and there's no indoor or anything. So with us, we would split up our indie, and I trusted him. I was like, hey man, you're gonna go do this drill, and we'll switch after 5 or 10 minutes. So I think Sean contributed a ton to our success. I mean, you're not gonna find many Division III schools with two offensive line coaches.
And kind of getting back to the transition that you're making right now into the UAlbany staff, you talked about, how you're going to be working with Coach Sweeney and the entire staff. And we were kind of curious about, like, what's one thing that you're most excited to learn from them, and then kind of one thing you're really excited to be able to contribute to that staff.
The biggest thing that I've learned so far, and it continues every day, is that Joe Davis, he talks about positive vibes, this positivity. And I mean, all of us at some point, we're just a miserable prick. It could be a Wednesday afternoon, and you're just like, oh man, someone steps the wrong way, and you just snap. That's one thing with me. The last couple of years, I think I blew up twice in my 2 years at RPI. Because it's getting older, I'm not trying to give myself a heart attack or anything. So, that's one thing I have just lived with what Joe Davis has said on our offensive staff is just positive vibes and just being positive. Kids live off that, and they can, it's contagious. So 100%. I know it's kind of corny, but it's so true. It's just being positive and all the time and everything we do, whether it's recruiting, just talking ball or anything. And then I think the biggest thing to contribute is just to be able to work with Sween and, do different drills. Like I said, we go back and forth. He's teaching me stuff. I'm teaching him stuff. And it's awesome. And our tight ends coach, Nate Byam, he played in the NFL for a couple of years, 4 or 5 years. He's awesome. He's our run game coordinator. So, going with him too, learn some more tight end play specifically is making me a better coach too. So we have a great offensive staff. Mincy is our running backs coach. He's an offensive lineman. He's awesome. And then Will Fiacchi is our receivers coach. He had all the records at Albany as a quarterback until we had our All-American this past season. So I've never been part of a staff that I think is really, really gelled together like this on offense side of the ball. And I'm really excited just to continue to get to know them.